Okay, let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about this wild universe flowing inside you because your blood, it tells a much bigger story than you probably think. Seriously, it's like a liquid diary written over thousands of years, and today we're going to learn how to read it. I mean, it's one of the most basic questions about our bodies, right? Why can't we just share this vital fluid with anyone? Why the different types? Well, the answer is this incredible journey through history, evolution, and really the raw mechanics of survival. And before we even get into blood types, think about this for a second. Your tears, your sweat, your milk, it all starts as blood. It's like the source code for almost every other liquid our bodies make. I mean, the fluid cushioning your brain, your saliva, yep, all of it starts as blood. So this one fluid is the foundation, but wow, has evolution built some incredible variations on top of it. Okay, so when we think blood, we think red. But that's a really human-centric way of looking at it. Across the whole tree of life, nature has cooked up an entire rainbow of vital fluids, all designed to do the same thing, carry oxygen. I mean, look at this. Nature is just so creative. Instead of our iron-based red blood, you've got horseshoe crabs using copper, which literally turns their blood blue. And some skinks, they have so much bile pigment that their blood is this crazy lime green. It's just a powerful reminder that our biology, our red blood, is just one solution out of many. So, what about our blood? What's in our own crimson cocktail? Let's break down the 4 essential ingredients that make up the stuff flowing through all of us. So believe it or not, about half of your blood is this yellowish liquid called plasma. It's mostly just water, but its main job is to act like a liquid highway. It's what carries everything else, all the cells, the nutrients, the waste, exactly where it needs to go. And speaking of those cells, we've got platelets, which are like the flex seal of the body, plugging leaks. We've got white blood cells, our security force, telling us from invaders. But then you have the red blood cells. And when I say it's a massive army, I am not kidding. A single adult has something like 30 trillion red blood cells. That's hundreds of times more cells than there are stars in the entire Milky Way galaxy. Just let that sink in. They are by far the most numerous cells in your body. Okay, so this brings us to a huge medical mystery. For centuries, blood transfusions were basically a deadly game of Russian roulette. Doctors knew blood could save lives, but they had no idea why it would sometimes kill the patient instead, causing their blood to clump up in this horrible, fatal reaction. The journey from that deadly gamble to the routine, life-saving procedure we have today was long and, frankly, full of failures. You can see the slow progress here, from weird animal to human transfusions in the 1600s to finally figuring out how to stop blood from clotting outside the body. But the real game changer, the big breakthrough, came in 1901 with a guy named Carl Landsteiner. He's the one who finally cracked the code. So what was his key discovery? It all comes down to this: antigens and antibodies. Think of it this way. Your red blood cells are covered in these little protein markers called antigens. They're basically your blood's ID badge. At the same time, floating around in your plasma, you have antibodies. And these are like tiny security guards, and their only job is to attack any ID badge they don't recognize as self. And this table here perfectly shows the pattern Landsteiner discovered. When he mixed plasma from a type A person with red blood cells from a type B person, boom, clumping. Same thing happened in reverse. That clumping reaction, that wasn't some random chemical mistake. That was the immune system going into full-on battle mode, with those antibody security guards attacking what they saw as foreign invaders. Okay, so what does all this mean for you? Your blood type isn't just some random letter on a medical chart. No, it's an evolutionary story. It's a blueprint passed down from your ancestors, and it tells us a lot about how they managed to survive. And if we look at the global numbers, O positive is the clear winner. It's by far the most common blood type on the planet, flowing through about 4 out of every 10 people. That's why it's the absolute workhorse for hospital blood banks everywhere. So let's talk about type O. This is basically humanity's genetic starting point. It's considered the original, the ancestral blood type. It was forged in a world of hunter-gatherers, shaped by high-protein diets and the constant threat of wild pathogens, long before farming changed everything. But here's the thing with evolution. There's no free lunch. There's always a trade-off. The very same traits that give type O people a lower risk of things like deadly blood clots and heart disease also seem to make them more vulnerable to nasty gut infections, like cholera or the bacteria that causes stomach ulcers. Then came type A. As humans started to settle down, started farming, and began living in crowded villages and cities, our bodies and our blood had to evolve. The type A antigen is believed to be an immune system upgrade, a new defense system that was better suited for the new diseases that came along with civilization. But again, there's that trade-off. That sticky A antigen that was so great for fighting off ancient bacterial plagues, well, it also makes the blood more prone to clumping inside our arteries. And that means that today, people with type A blood have a noticeably higher risk for things like blood clots, stroke, and heart disease. And then you have type B, the Nomad's legacy. This one tells a story of movement. It's most common in places that were shaped by nomadic cultures, like Central Asia. You can think of this blood type as carrying the signature of a super specialized immune system, one that was built for survival in harsh, constantly changing environments, always on the move. Now things get really fascinating when we get to the rarest of them all, AB negative. The AB blood type itself is the youngest, only popping up a few thousand years ago when A and B populations started mixing. Because it has both A and B antigens, its immune system is way more tolerant than the others. Now, you combine that modern blood type with the absence of the common Rh factor, and what you get is basically a statistical ghost. Just look at that number, less than half of 1%. To put that in perspective, you are more than 80 times more likely to have O-positive blood than AB negative. It is, without a doubt, the rarest of the 8 main types. So, from the incredibly common to the vanishingly rare, every single blood type connects us directly to our past, and it reveals some of biology's absolute strangest and most powerful secrets. And sometimes, the rarest blood holds the most incredible power. You've heard of golden blood? It's called Rh null, and it's so rare, fewer than 50 people on the entire planet are known to have it. Because it lacks all the common Rh antigens, it's a universal lifesaver for people with other rare blood types. And there's another twist. Remember our AB negative folks? While their red blood cells can only go to other AB people, their plasma is the universal plasma donor. It can be given to anyone. It's this amazing paradox, a life-saving resource that comes from the rarest people on Earth. So when you really think about it, every single drop of your blood is a link in this ancient, unbroken chain of survival. It's a living diary. It tells the story of the plagues your ancestors fought off, the foods they ate to survive, and the journeys they took across the globe. So your blood tells a story that's thousands of years old. What does yours say about you? It's a whole universe of complexity flowing inside you, connecting you to a deep human history that, honestly, we're still just beginning to understand.